Greetings to you all. You're listening to Chibalama Rogers, a teacher of geography, and I proudly welcome you to this channel of Muto Online, where we normally have online classes and some important videos concerning different subjects, majorly in the secondary education. So for those who have not yet made a subscription, you can subscribe on Muto Online so that you can follow up on each and every video that is posted there. So the contact is so clear, you can take it and try it out. For further information, you can make the contact and find out what happens on this channel. So today in this video, I'm going to take you through the structure of Geography Paper 1 for the new lower secondary curriculum, or you can call it the competency-based curriculum. So I'm here to take you through the structure of the Geography Paper 1, the new lower secondary curriculum. This paper, the paper code, of course, it has not changed, and it is P273/1. That is our paper code. So to take you back, initially, when you look at the old curriculum, we had 2 papers, but as time passed by, the NCDC sat in coordination with the Ministry of Education, and they decided to narrow it down into 1 paper. However, the paper code remained as 273/1. Now, this paper, of course, it will be contributing a percentage of 80. Remember, in the new curriculum, we are having the project work, which is contributing 10%. However, on top of this project work, you may find that we also have what we call the activities of integration. They are also important as you are progressing with your education. So, right from senior 3 until you finish senior 4, you may find that these activities of integration will be contributing still 10%. And a summation of project work and activities of integration gives you what we call 20%. So meaning that this paper, this final examination, will be topping up to make it 100%. So meaning that you as a student, of course, you have to maximize the marks of the projects and the activities of integration. Because they are so important, these marks go directly to your neighbor. So you have to be serious and determined to get them. So meaning that if you are assured of the 20, then you work for the 80%, so that at least you get something like an A. So without wasting time, let me take you back to the structure of our paper. So this paper, of course, it will be having a duration of 2 hours and 45 minutes. It is a bit lengthy, however, this time is just enough for you to pass and get something like 70 and above out of the 80. So meaning that you may find that the paper has 2 sections. However, for this case, we shall be focusing on section A in this video. Our focus will be on section A. Of course, this section is compulsory. Under this section, we shall be having only 2 items, and those 2 items are compulsory. Whether you like it or not, you have to attempt those items, or else you lose the 40 marks. Remember, section A has 40 marks. And remember, you have 2 items which are compulsory. So you have to be keen on this. So item 1, you know the good thing about geography. In section A, you're always assured of what is coming. Because in section A, the 2 items, you know where they are coming from. Item 1, it is of course map work. So you are required to be having those skills of map work, map use, and skills. It is a compulsory item, so in whatever you are doing, you need a lot of practice. Once you don't practice, you will fidget in the examination. Because if you are not practicing, or if you were not practicing, you may find that you will be fidgeting in the examination. And at the end of the day, this time may not be enough for you to catch up and do the rest of the items. So under map work or map use and skills, you may find that, of course, there are a number of aspects to analyze and give attention. One of them is what we call the grid reference. Of course, when you look at map use and skills, you are always given a map extract, or you can call it a survey map. So whatever you are going to do under this item, your focus should be on the map extract. Whether it is Nakasongola, whether it is Chiboga, as long as you know what we call a map extract and how to use it, then you are good to go. So grid reference, of course, it is so important when we are locating features on a map extract. We use grid reference. And for the case of grid reference, they are normally 6 figures. In most cases, but at times you may find any item requiring you to give or to present the grid reference using 4 figures. But in most cases, they are 6 figures. Why? Because when you look at the 6 figures, they give you the exact position where the feature is located. So that is grid reference. Expect any question about that. So when it comes, of course, you can be in position to handle it. Then, without wasting time, allow me to take you through the other aspect, and that is bearing. It is also important, bearing and directions. So these two move hand in hand. However, for the case of bearing, we normally use digits. If it is directions, of course, we use these normal directions that we've been looking at even in social studies when you dive back to the primary level. So we shall be using these cardinal points: north, east, west, south, and even these others: northeast, northwest, southwest. These describe what we call direction. Okay, so that is all about bearing. Now, you may find that away from this, we also have other aspects under map use and skills. The other aspect is, don't forget about drawing sketches, or you can call them sketch maps. Then, if the question is not about drawing sketch maps, you may find that the item requires you to draw a cross section. So you can see that all these aspects require, first of all, a map extract. You should be friendly to a map extract. Make it your friend. Then secondly, practice using that map extract. Without practice, you cannot handle these. So it's like mathematics. Once you don't practice, you cannot pass mathematics. Even if you are the person who made the calculator, you need the practice. So the same applies to this. Then, away from that, you may find that still under map use, we have some other important concepts to look at. One of them is what we call description. Description of geographical aspects on the map extract. Of course, there are certain aspects that are geographical that we have to analyze when you look at a map extract. First of all, when you are given a map extract and you open it, or when you unfold it, you may find that a lot of things come into your mind. One of them is you look at the photograph, you look at the map extract and you identify problems. Of course, there are certain aspects that really tell that this place is experiencing certain problems. And once you look at a problem, of course, you as a geographer, you can easily find a solution to that problem. Of course, we generate solutions from problems because you cannot solve something that does not exist. So, still on the map extract, you can be in position to identify human activities. Of course, there are certain human activities or land use activities that can be identified on the map extract. There are very many. You can identify lumbering. You can identify tourism based on certain symbols on the map extract. You can identify transport and communication, and other aspects. So away from that, apart from human activities, you can also identify physical features on the map extract. So out of these physical features, you as a geographer, you have to be knowing, you have to be having knowledge about the origin of certain physical features. If it is maybe a conical hill, if it is a volcanic plug, how was it formed? Geographically, not mentioning about myths and other fake stories about such landforms. So you should bring out the geographical knowledge about the formation of certain landforms. Origin, here you look at how it was formed, or the formation. Then, if it is existing, you look at that feature and analyze how it is important to the community. So the importance, economic importance to the community or to the surrounding areas. Then on top of that, remember, everything on this planet Earth has the positive side and the negative side. The side of light and the side of darkness. So you may look at a feature that exists, but when this feature is a problem to the community, so meaning that some people view it as a problem, then others view it as something that is so important. You also look at the problems these physical features are posing towards the community. So it is also important to note that. Then, away from that, we've talked about the grid reference, we've talked about bearing and directions. It's so important. We've talked about sketches. If not a sketch map, you may be required to draw a cross section, and of course this one requires a graph page. Then the description of geographical aspects on the map extract. Remember, it is important to note that geography has two branches and they are very important. It has what we call the human aspect and the physical aspect. And these two, they complement each other. That is why the natural environment is existing alongside the human environment. So meaning that still on the map extract, you expect the two. Because whatever is manifested on the map extract, it is got from the real environment that we live in. Look at the places like Nakasongola. All of these are extracted from our exact environment, the real environment from Uganda. That is why geography, it is reality. We are talking about things that exist. So you cannot lie. That is why it is so interesting and practical. So the other aspect, I will not forget about distance. Distance is also important on the map extract. So from distance, of course, you may be required to measure the distance, maybe from a certain point, maybe from point A to point B. However, that distance, you measure it with the help of what we call the scale. That scale is always given just below the map extract. It has certain divisions. The bigger divisions, of course, they represent kilometers, and you may find that you can also be having a smaller one that is subdivided into small portions. This one is for meters, and the bigger ones, they represent kilometers. So meaning that after measuring your distance, of course, you will transfer that distance to the scale. On the map extract, don't use your own scale. Use the scale that has been given on the map extract. So meaning that distance can be got using the scale. However, how do we apply this to our real life? You know what I love about the new curriculum? We look at how these things help us in reality. After measuring the distance, they can ask a question. How you've measured the distance from point A to point B. However, the question is, if you have a person who wants to travel from point A to point B, but this person is not certain about the distance he or she is going to cover and the cost of transport. So meaning that you as a geographer, you need to first establish the distance or to determine the distance. Then if, let me say, a kilometer, 1 kilometer costs 1,000, and you've measured a distance of, let me say, 5.5 kilometers. So this person wants to travel from point A to point B, meaning that if the distance is 5.5 kilometers, can you determine the cost of transport using this unit price of a kilometer? So what do? You simply multiply by 1,000. So meaning this person is going to spend something like 5,500 5,500 shillings. That is the cost of transport from point A to point B. So this is the real essence of measuring the distance. So you can see that it is applicable even in reality. So the other concept is we also have this concept called area. We have a concept called area. It is also important in map work. So you can see that in whatever we are doing, we are also applying what we call mathematical skills. So that is the uniqueness about geography. You may find that geography can be complemented with other subjects, mathematics, you can complement it with business, ICT, and other subjects. So it is a universal subject. So area, at times you may find that you are given features on the map extract that have crooked shapes or that are shapeless, without shapes. Let me say it is a wetland. We cannot have a wetland that appears in form of a square or a rectangle. It is very hard. So in most cases, these wetlands and other features like lakes, their shapes are always abnormal. So what do we do here? What you do, you may find that in mathematics, we normally have definite definitions or real definitions for certain shapes. But you may find that these ones have no shape or they are shapeless. So what do? We have a certain formula that we can use so that we can simplify this. At times when you look at these grids that help us to locate features on the map extract, you may find that this wetland is positioned in such a format. This is our wetland. So meaning that you as a person, what do? Remember, as the wetland is occupying this area, there are some squares that are full and others you may find that they are half squares. So what do? We normally apply a formula and it is very simple. Area equals, you count the number of full squares, then you add on the number of half squares, then you divide the half squares by 2. Why are we dividing by 2? Because these are not full squares, they are half squares. That is why we apply a fraction of 1/2. So meaning that when you count, here I'm seeing 1 full square, put it here, then you also count the number of half squares. As long as a wetland is occupying a certain portion of a square, it still counts. Whether it is small, whether it is big, it remains half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you get the 7 out of 2. So this is 1 plus 3.5. So meaning that the area covered by this wetland, it is 4.5 kilometers squared. Now the difference between area and distance. For the case of area, the units will be in kilometers squared because this is area. Then for the case of kilometers, since this is just a linear distance, maybe a distance covered by a road or a river, we just put kilometers. But since this is not linear, it is area. Look at the portion covered by a certain physical feature. Of course, we square the kilometers. So that is it all about the area. And you may find that all of the concepts that we've been looking at, they need what we call practice. Once you don't practice, of course, that is a gone case. You lose out on this number. You lose out on the number. So without wasting time, let me take you through some of the topics where the item of map work focuses on. Now there are certain topics where items concerning map work can be got from. Let's look at some of those topics. One of the important topics where map work items are always got from, it is the earth and its movements. The earth and its movements. It is an important topic. It is in book 1. Of course, for those who are just joining senior 1, of course, you find such a topic in your work. So this topic is a bit technical and it requires your attention so that you can understand it very well. So that is one of the topics where we find items about map work. Then the second topic, you may look at climate. Climate and natural vegetation. Climate and natural vegetation. It is also a topic in book 1 and other books. You may find that it starts from book 1 and you keep on building up as you proceed to the next classes. Then you can also look at the topic called, there is also this one called weather and climate. Weather and climate, topics like agriculture, topics like industrialization, all these topics are important in as far as map work is concerned. So briefly, that is all about map work. Thank you.